Okay, might as well begin. Good afternoon, everyone. I am recording this, so if you would like to receive this, I should say, I will be sending the recording to everyone. So, good afternoon. I am Christine Osceola. I am a franchise specialist with FranNet. Thank you all for attending our webinar this afternoon. So, who is FranNet? FranNet has been around for 29 years. We have over 80 offices, 3 in Germany, and we just opened one in England. We help potential entrepreneurs find a franchise that fits their profile at no cost to them. I will now be introducing Bill, who will be speaking to you about a unique concept that has a low investment and is highly profitable. Go ahead, Bill.
Thanks, Christine, and thanks for the opportunity to talk a little bit today about British Swim School, and also obviously thank you to everyone on the line as well. Looks like we have a good number of people joining the webinar today, so we're very excited to talk to you a little bit about it. So let's get started here. And Christine, there we go.
There you
Did
go.
you switch to the next slide?
Yes.
Okay. So what is British Swim School? So British Swim School is the leader in Learn to Swim programs, and our program was really revolutionary in developing a survival program that enables very young kids to survive an accident in water. And it was really founded on one fact alone. Drowning is the number one cause of accidental death in kids under 5. So our warm water survival program is for children of all ages, ranging from infants to teens. I mean, it goes all the way up to individuals. If they're 90 years old, we'll give them lessons as well. But the bulk of the people that we work with are kids between the ages of 0 and 9 and then up to into the teenage years. And we are also aligned with the Safer Water Safety Foundation, whose mission is to protect every little life out there from drowning through education and really heightened water safety awareness. We do have very gentle, very fun programs, and that's really made British the number one choice for parents across the country. We're actually now recognized as the fastest growing swim school in the country, and collectively we deliver nearly lessons to 10,000 students every single week, which totals about 50,000 lessons annually. So, and what exactly do we do? What does British Swim School do? Our franchise owners help prevent child drowning by bringing children and their team of swimming instructors together in their local communities. And again, unlike other programs, we provide warm water, gentle fun instruction, and make sure we have small-sized classes taught by highly trained staff. And the combination of these things really ensures incredible customer retention. If you move on to our history, pretty interesting history is actually, British has been franchising now for about 4 or 5 years, but we've been in the swim school industry for close to 40 years. Our founder CEO, Rita Goldberg, actually, way back in 1981, opened up what was really the first swim school in all of England, actually in Manchester back then. And pretty cool, still operating today, giving lessons 6 or 7 days a week. But she eventually came over to the U.S., and she started by building and developing some swim schools, brick-and-mortar type of locations. She built 4 of those, and very profitable. But what she realized, she looked at them, because if you build a basic swim school brick and mortar these days, you're talking over $1 million investment. Very expensive, a lot of maintenance, things like that. So she thought, even though they're very successful, why can't we find a way to formulate relationships with all these other pools that are around the areas? And, since then what British has done, they have formulated relationships with national contracts with LA Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness. They have major relationships with Marriott and Hilton, some of the bigger, nicer Holiday Inns, things of that nature. And, what they do is they actually, form partnerships with these types of locations where now British Swim School franchisees can conduct their lessons within these pools versus having to build their own. And why that's important, and what we found is that a couple of reasons. Number one, really for a fraction of the cost of what it takes to build a typical swim school, a franchisee can be operating out of 10, 15, 20 different pools and running a very large business. That's number one. And number two, it allows the franchisee to actually capitalize on their marketplace in a way that you really can't if you have a very expensive location, because, you know how it is. Parents aren't going to drive 20 miles to take their kid to a swim lesson. they're going to drive a few miles, right, or find something that's closer. And, within this model, being able to capitalize on pools all around the area, it allows for British franchisees to do just that, to really be able to capitalize on the entire marketplace. On to kind of moving on to the next slide. So when you take a look at the overall investment with British, here's one of the other things that does attract individuals, again, versus a typical swim school over $1 million for a single location. British investment ranges are usually between $80,000 and $200,000. The basic franchise fee for a single territory is $39.5. We'll actually go into and cover what the costs are of different size territories. Sometimes people buy larger territories initially. But really beyond whatever that initial franchise fee is, depending how big the territory is, the investment for operating capital, essentially really everything a franchisee needs to get their business up and running, operational, making enough money so you're not having to dip back into your own pocket to continue to invest, is about another $60,000 or $70,000 on top of that. So it's kind of a very low-cost investment. Now, when you take a look at the different size territories, we've done single territories, double territories, 3-pack territories, and 5-pack. We've never done a 4-pack for whatever reason. But that's what the franchise fees are, depending upon how big of a territory you have. And then on top of that, you add another $60,000 or $70,000, and that gets you to the point where you're not having to invest additional capital out of your pocket to reinvest back in the business. Now, when you take a look at the size of those territories, it's usually around 25,000 kids. It says 20 to 25,000. It's usually not much more than 25,000 kids in it that are in the ages of 0 and 9 years old. Again, we give lessons up to adults that are in their 70s, but the bulk of the people that you teach are going to be kids that are between the ages of 3 months old and 9 years old. There's always a good number of pools. It says 2+ pools in a territory. I mean, we a lot of times see in different areas. I mean, I know a lot of individuals are probably up in the Jersey, New York areas, things like that, but some of the very densely populated areas, a lot of hotels, a lot of fitness facilities. Sometimes we'll find territories that have 10, 15, 20 pool locations even within a single territory. And then these territories are also going to be comprised of families that are in median income areas where they can buy swim lessons, right? So it's not going to be in areas where people are on welfare. Nothing wrong with families on welfare, but they're probably not going to be buying swim lessons. So the kids in the areas where we build these territories are going to be in those nicer type of areas. And we're growing, right? We're growing. It's, we have 57 franchise units open. We've sold close to 80. So over the last couple of years, we have about 2.5, 2 to 3 times we've grown the business. So it's now growing very, very quickly. Certainly British has company-owned franchisees as well. And now we're in over 100 pools across 14 different states, again, giving, about 10,000 lessons every single week. You look at, we've covered kind of the initial investment. You look at the unit economics of what a basic franchisee experience is. Now, keep in mind, these numbers are going to be in the item 19, but these are going to be, typically, franchisees are going to own more than a single territory. So when you look at, $1.17 million in revenue and $805,000 in gross profit, that's typically going to be a franchisee that owns, a few different territories. When you look at the franchise documents with British in the item 19 on a single territory, what franchisees can expect to make, and the numbers in there are about $305,000 in revenue per territory. Very healthy margin type of a business. You'll see the breakdown of all the different margins in the documents. Brings it down to about a 30 to a 35% net income. So every single territory is generating around $100,000. That's why when we work with individuals in the concept, a lot of times they will kind of reverse engineer it and say, hey, okay, me as a business person or my family, we would like to make a few $100,000 every year net profit. What does that equal on averages? It equals, optimizing a few different territories. So that's why sometimes individuals start out with a few territories, and then they, of course, get up to these higher type of numbers. Training and support's really good with British. They go above and beyond. A lot of it's in person, and a lot of it is just on an ongoing basis. But some of the initial training that British does is they have 3 different 5-day sessions to get a franchisee started in person. The first 5 days, British actually flies out to your market, and they go meet with all the pools, and they actually sell and they lock in the first couple of pool locations for you. They're going to teach you how to fish as well. Certainly you want to do that as you grow your business. But, it's really good for them to help ensure that you've got the first number of pools locked in already. The second 5-day of training is the franchisee comes down to Fort Lauderdale where their corporate offices are. They'll spend 5 days in the classroom learning the operations manual, learning how to interact with all the different departments. And then the third 5 days of training actually happens right before the business launches and the franchisee's ready to start giving those lessons. By the time that third 5-day happens, marketing's already been going, people have bought lessons, and the pools have already been locked in. The last step really is for the franchisee to go back down to Florida with their main hire. Their main hire is their aquatics director. So this is the person that's going to be running the swim program. They'll be giving the lessons. They'll be training other swim instructors. So that's the chance for that aquatics director to really learn the swim program and spend the entire week in the pool. Now, that being said, hey, the franchisee is going to learn the program as well, learn how to give lessons, even though, based on this type of a business model, most people that British attracts are people that want to build a business. They see the scalability of this. They want to run a business, not be in the pool giving lessons, right? So, 99% of our franchisees are just running the business. The aquatics director does the swim lessons and runs that side of the program. But, we do have a couple of franchisees that, hey, look, they got involved with this because their passion is to be in the pool with kids, give the lessons themselves. The business can certainly be structured from that way as well. So those are the initial kind of in-person trainings. The ongoing support with these guys, with British, is pretty great as well. They actually will sit down with the franchisees as well every single month, and they'll do what is called a marketing calendar. Now, within that marketing calendar, they will customize and create, a marketing strategy moving forward for that month. And sure, marketing strategies can be the same from month to month. But, when you take a look at a model like this, right, who's our customer? Customer is going to be, for the most part, millennial parents. Not to say that parents can't, people in their 40s and 50s don't have children that are 5 years old, but the bulk of, the parents are in their 20s, 30s, they're millennials. They access their information through social media, online, those types of things. And British is very good at understanding how to market to these people, how to get in front of them, where they do all the online marketing for you. They do social media with you. They'll train you how to do that as well. But they also understand that, people in this demographic are accessing their information in new ways every single day almost, right? So there's always going to be the next, just because Facebook's here today doesn't mean it won't be gone tomorrow. It probably will be Facebook, right? But other social medias are constantly coming out. So they're very good at adjusting that marketing strategy to help ensure that you're always in front of your customer, where the phone's ringing off the hooks, and you're basically just signing kids up for lessons every single day. When you look at kind of the ideal candidate, again, most individuals, they don't always wake up, a year ago and say, wow, I wish I could own a swim school someday, right? But when they take a look at a model like this, they typically do get very excited because of the scalability, low-cost investment, big upside in an industry that's never going away. Technology can't replace swim lessons, right? Pretty sure robots aren't going to teach our kids how to swim anytime soon. So what British does look for are really kind of those business builders, people that do have great business backgrounds, people that are driven to succeed. Certainly, this is a business that provides so much value to the community. We're literally saving kids' lives, so we want people to be positive, outgoing, those that really want to impact the lives of the kids in the community. And also having management experience, right? That's going to be also not 100% necessary, but, it can certainly help out with, building the team of instructors and your basic reps that you have. Day in the life of, it's going to be a lot of business stuff, right? Like I said, most franchisees are going to be, going to the office in the morning and, working on marketing campaigns, a lot of different tasks. Returning inquiries, booking lessons, scheduling, payroll, recruiting, all the different things we have listed there. So it's really just kind of running the business in the day in the life of. But, sometimes at the end of the day, depending upon scheduling, hey, we always suggest it's great if you can make it once in a while to the pools, even though you're not running the swim program. sure is great to get out there, let the parents know you're there, let them know you're very, grateful to be able to help impact their kids' lives in a positive way, and just let them know that, you're there to help them out with anything they can and help improve the program in an ongoing basis. So to kind of recap a little more some of the things that make British unique, we're literally not a lot of businesses out there where you have this much upside and scalability in a business model in a recession-proof industry that's never going away, where you can simultaneously literally be impacting little kids' lives and saving their lives. So that's pretty unique. British does help you find the pools, which is very nice. And again, one of the main things is really there's no build-out cost, very low overhead because we're, again, utilizing relationships that we have with these different types of pool locations across the country. Couple different things about the pools, just to give you an idea what some of the locations are. We have fitness facilities, again, national contracts with 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness, so those are really great. And again, we do a lot of work with big, Marriotts and Hiltons and Sheratons and some of the bigger, nicer Holiday Inns, things of that nature. We also do, the amount of locations we work with is endless, though, because we'll work with retirement homes, we'll work with just major apartment complexes that have pools, so we have formed relationships with many, many different types of locations beyond just the hotels and the fitness facilities. Again, there's those relationships. British's process, if you decided, you said, hey, you raised your hand, you like what you heard today, you want to learn a little bit more, we go through a basic kind of a pre-qualification and getting to know you, and Christine can help out with some of that. And then you actually come back over to me where we go into a more of an in-depth program overview. We, of course, get you a copy of the franchise disclosure document so you can take a look at, what the relationship is between the British and you as the franchisee, covers all the numbers, the investments, all those types of things. And then we also get you into some great franchisee validation. We do group validation calls, and then we also have you do some one-on-one validation calls with different franchisees that we have across the country. And then the last step is you come out to a discovery day where you come down to Florida. You spend one day or the second half of a day at the offices getting to know the team. And then the morning of the following day, you go to the pools. You watch the lessons in action. You really get to see what the program is all about. And then once that takes place, then we can make that decision collectively if we want to move forward. A little bit of a recap. Again, net income, we're going to show that in the item 19 in the franchise documents. We have it's a very sustainable business. It's not going out of style. Kids need to learn how to swim because, again, why we do what we do, number one cause of accidental death in kids under 5 is drowning, and, we want to help limit that as much as possible. And then beyond just that statistic, when you look at swimming, it's such a great program for so many other reasons. It helps the kids exercise, makes them more social, makes them healthier, builds their self-esteem. There's so many things kids can take from this in an ongoing basis that's really going to carry with them for the rest of their lives, potentially. The business is an owner-operator type of a model initially. It can be built up into a semi-absentee over time. I'll tell you, our top franchisee, or one of our top franchisees, she's been in for 3-4 years. She's built her business up into a multi-million-dollar business, and she only works it now 9 to noon. But she put the time, Monday through Friday, but she put the time in initially for the first couple of years to get to that point and then outsource some of the work to employees that she has. A lot of demand. Swim schools, you'll see that there's a major demand for it. There are waiting lists in a lot of different swim schools. And then again, our locations with no build-out, utilization of facilities allows you to grow very, very quickly versus having to spend another $1 million to build one, a couple $1,000s worth of toys and stuff, and you have a new location. So it's probably one of the most scalable franchise models out there. And that's all I had, Christine. So on that note, I don't know if there are any questions or anything like that, but I'm happy to answer anything else.
Thank you very much, Bill. I am going to unmute everyone.
The conference has been unmuted.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Bill?
Yes. How about liability insurance?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Al Matola in New Jersey.
Hey, Al. Hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, so liability insurance does come along with British. There's one major insurance company that really insures all the major swim schools across the country. So franchisees are automatically to obtain that insurance, through British. Kind of hard to do it on your own. You got to kind of be in a system or have a big background in swimming, or they won't insure you. But you can always be insured through British. And the cost for insurance is on average about $5 to $6 per year per child that's in the program.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? How about the swimmers, the teachers? Do you help them find the teachers for the swim schools?
Great question. Yeah, we do. We do have a lot of great methods in obtaining instructors. And what's really interesting is that, being this is a kind of a learn to survive, learn to swim program primarily for kids, we're not necessarily, training individuals to make the Olympics, right, or anything like that. So, we don't need individuals that do have big swim backgrounds to be some of our best instructors. In fact, what we have found is that, I'll give teachers as an example. Some of the best instructors we have are teachers, because we can really train anyone to be able to implement this program and teach kids it. But what we cannot teach people is to like kids. Either they do or they don't. So, we do a lot with care.com, Indeed, sites like that, and even colleges, universities, things like that. So there's a lot of great ways that we help franchisees attract great swim instructors. Swim instructors, they don't get paid a lot, so there's some turnover. We have instructors that have been with franchisees for the last 5 years. They never want to leave. They'll probably be there forever just because they love it so much. But very easy to replace instructors if need be, with the program. So.
Okay, thank you. How many children to a class?
About 4 to 5 children per class. So, we have it set where they can do one-on-one private lessons, but the biggest is about 4 to 5. British kind of believes in having that smaller, intimate type of a class where each kid's getting at least, more attention than if there was 15 children in a single class.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any other questions? Okay, well, I will be sending the recording out to everyone. If there's anything you need, please contact me anytime. Thank you again, Bill. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, Christine, and thank you again for everyone for spending the time on the call today. Really
okay.
Enjoyed the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.